Yeah, but I don't quite get. There is a reality behind the spin, of course, because I notice from your reporting that he's taken what about 4 short holidays over the last month and a bit. He's taken weekends off, of course. I know it's been Christmas and all that, but still, you've got several hot wars going on in the world for a start. Does this guy look flat out?
Well, it was kind of weird because the year ended, 2023 ended with constant warnings. I sit there in the briefing room listening to them talking about how there is great urgency to fund the wars in Ukraine and in Israel, or else things are not going to go the way the U.S. wants. But here we are, like almost a month later, 3 weeks into the new year, and there's no movement on any of it. And it's not just because things are all jammed up on Capitol Hill. President Biden hasn't given any meaningful remarks about any of it. They are choosing not to focus on really any of the big, heavy issues. It seems to us like they would rather just have the Republicans kind of start their nominating process, let Donald Trump suck up all the oxygen. There's a piece in the New York Times today that they would rather have Donald Trump as their opponent because they think that he is the weakest, even though pretty much every poll that is out there right now, except for one of Pennsylvania, has Trump with a noticeable lead over Biden if the election was held today.
Do you trust those polls?
No, I don't think so. And it really does seem like it's so early and so much is unknown. People in the states just have not been paying attention yet. There are some very motivated Republicans in these early states like Iowa, New Hampshire, South Carolina, who have been paying close attention. But right now, people are mostly focused on like the American football playoffs and flight delays. Those are the two big things coming out of the holidays that have been chewing up all of the attention among people, much more than politics this time, which again, that's unusual. If President Biden was out there campaigning, we would be there covering him. We would be talking about it. And he just hasn't been doing it.
But this goes to my point, really, doesn't it? That the election seems increasingly not to be about Joe Biden so much. He's trying to absent himself. It's like the President Chancey is just being there. He doesn't want people to actually look at him. It has to be about whether or not you like Donald Trump. It's really weird. But looking at President Biden, 81, is this the man who could do the job of president for another 4 years? And aren't Democrats getting a little bit worried about exactly that question?
Well, publicly, you won't hear anything really from any of the prominent Democrats. And privately, a lot of them concede that it's too late to really change course. Their only option is if, for some reason, President Biden has a health problem or a moral crisis and decides he is too old and he wants to step aside, they need to do something at the convention. That's not until this summer, though. So they are, and also nobody has really been running an effective shadow campaign to be the person that slides right in if there is an issue at the convention or by the convention. And so he's 81. He's got a lot of problems politically. His age is not one of the problems that he can do anything about. And unfortunately, even though about 3/4 of people polled, anytime that they poll it, think he is too old for a second term, he's not getting any younger, and he won't before the election.
What is his big pitch for re-election then?
That he is the only one who can preserve American democracy. They're running less and less on issues of the economy because even though they do pick some statistics that they think are favorable to their side over what Republicans are proposing and over what Donald Trump did even before the pandemic kind of wiped out everything economically, they think that January 6th is proof that Donald Trump is a danger to the American system. And we expect to hear a ton more about that. That really is everything that we hear behind the scenes, what they want this election to be about. Joe Biden, pro-democracy. Donald Trump, anti-democracy.
Well, there again, it's about Donald Trump. The election's about Donald Trump and a president who isn't
Absolutely.
there. Just lastly, Peter, I showed some footage at the top, you know, of you having one of your many terrific little stand-ups against the White House press spokesperson, and then President Biden's frank and fearless hot mic assessment of your kind of questioning. I've loved it. I think it's terrific. But being a Fox News correspondent from a conservative news outlet in a White House press corps that probably leans pretty much left, how tricky has that been?
I think the trickiest part is just getting Biden's attention and getting in front of him. Nobody's ever going to be happy necessarily with everything that we are asking about, because they all have editors too. They need to cover topics maybe that they're more interested in than we are. The toughest thing, though, kind of to everything that we've been talking about, Andrew, is that there are fewer and fewer opportunities to get in front of President Biden. The first year that he was there, we had a lot of opportunities. The second year, a lot of opportunities. The third year, fewer. And this fourth year so far, barely any. And so we hope that changes. There's a lot that we want to know about his opinion concerning, but it's getting tough. And we don't really know why. We have a lot of guesses, but we don't really know why that is.
Well, I think conspiracies rush in where there's a vacuum, and some of them might actually be on the money. Peter Doocy, thank you so much for your time. We look to your spots on Fox News with great interest, and keep on plugging away.
We will. Thank you so much, Andrew.